In Japan, a town puts up a barrier to block the view of Mount Fuji due to over-tourism concerns. A local official stated, "We've been pushed beyond our limit by the increase in foreign tourists over the past few months." Now, admittedly, this happened in April of 2024, so it's kind of an old story, but I do find it interesting nonetheless, because they literally just put up a wall. So why is this Lawson's, a convenience store of all places, the center of all of this controversy, the place where they put up a wall to prevent tourists from taking photos? Because I would imagine that there are better, well, actually, I don't have to imagine, because I actually went to this town, that there are a lot more picturesque areas in this location. So this is a town called Fujikawaguchiko, and the reason for this place to be that tourist trap area where a lot of people are taking photos is actually due to its location. So if we go to this town right here, you basically have one point of entry right here. This is the station where everyone enters this town. And you can see here all of these tracks where they store the trains, and this is the last stop. So there's nothing beyond this. They pull it out here and then they store it. And they also, if you go on a bus, which I went on a bus to go to this town, you end up right here. Now, the convenience store, the famous convenience store, is located right here. Now, there is a 7-Eleven across the street, but it's facing the other way. This one, Mount Fuji, is towards this area back here. So if you're taking a look at it, like if we go back to this photo, you have the Lawson's and Mount Fuji right behind it. So when you're coming into the town, the first place you're probably going to go is a convenience store to pick up snacks or whatever you need along the way. And most people, a lot of people go there. I even went there and I kind of regretted going there because the lines were just too long. And that was during a time where it wasn't even peak season. But yeah, simply because it's the closest place to the station, because you also have other you also have another Lawson's over here that has a similar view, but it's just farther away from the station over here. So it's not going to be as popular. I want to just go down to Google Street View right now just to kind of show you around the area, just to give you a feel of why it is a very problematic area. So like I said, you have the station right here. And if you go out into the street, you go down a couple of blocks right here, you can see the 7-Eleven on that side right there. And then right over here, you have this Lawson's. Now, in this image, you can't really see Mount Fuji in the background because of all of the clouds, but it's right there. So this parking lot area right here is where a lot of tourists end up taking photos, right? Because it gives enough space. But of course, you're going to have some people who are thinking, "Oh, let's back away as far as we can to get as much as of the view as possible." So you end up having random people running out into the streets to go to the other side just to take photos from that side of the street. And this is where the problem really sets in, because as you can tell here, they've ended up putting in gates and signs to prevent people, or to tell people to stop running into the road. So it's just one of those things where basically stupid foreigners. That's basically the problem. Now, like I said, when I went here, I went to this convenience store. I went in, bought some snacks, and went on my way to the hotel. But I didn't find that place to be very interesting. I didn't even take a photo of me at this Lawson's because I just found better places. Because as I was on my way to the hotel, like I found different places, like this photo right here of Mount Fuji. And as I was walking, I just found different places like this one. This is a much better area. That just seems so much nicer than trying to take a photo at a convenience store. And there's just a bunch of picturesque areas. Like this area is not that far away from the station. I just walked there after I went to my hotel and dropped off my stuff. And it's this lake area, and I could bring the map up a little bit to show you. That area with the lake is right around here. And it's not that far of a walk. It did take it was probably like a 20-minute walk actually. But you have the station down here and you have the lake area right here. And if I take the photos back here, you could see that I'm on the other side right around here where the bridge is. And this is a much better area. And I went at a good time when the sakura trees were blooming. And this is an area right there that I was able to get that picture. It's like, it's so much better. Why not just take some time and go to these other areas that are just much nicer, more open? Because this isn't a park where you have many different people there. It's just more flexible and easy than trying to go and cross the street at a Lawson's when you're basically making things more dangerous for the local people, because who knows when someone's going to just dart out in front of your vehicle. Like, come on, these are better areas to visit. This is a really nice area right here that's on the other side of the lake. It's kind of tucked in behind an area, not too many people there. It was so nice. Much better than a Lawson's. But yeah, it's just a really nice area with a lot of picturesque views. I don't know why you would try to spend your time trying to take a photo at a Lawson's and disrupt the local population there. And obviously it becomes a big problem because it's one of those things where if you start seeing other people do it, you're probably going to do it too. So it only takes a few people to be stupid and run across the street and to get other people who probably wouldn't have done it if they didn't see that person running across the street and they end up doing it too. Then you end up having like a blockage there. So it's one of those things where you just got to be a smarter tourist. Don't go to these places and do stupid things. Think about it as if you were someone actually from that town. And this is an area that does get a lot of tourism because of Mount Fuji, and it's a very popular starting location for people who are going to be climbing Mount Fuji. And even that's a story on its own, where because there's so many people who are going through the pass on Mount Fuji, and a lot of people who aren't smart tourists, and then they start going off of the set paths, they end up disrupting the natural flow of like the wildlife that live around and on Mount Fuji. But anyway, it's just one of those stories that really did hit for me because I went to this town. I saw everything. I took my own photos, as you saw, and there's just much better places to actually go to. You don't have to try to run out in the middle of the street to take a picture of you at a Lawson's. So that's pretty much all I gotta say. Be a smart tourist.